to sleep.
Hello and welcome to Cheese, a Healthy Fruit, a podcast where two sisters reminisce on growing up in rural Wisconsin. I'm Cydel.
And I'm Jade. An awkward silence ensues.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It is really freaking hot.
Mm-hmm.
It is September.
Yes.
I'm ready for sweater weather.
Oh, yes.
So these, 80s, 90s are not it for me.
Mm-hmm. Also, listeners, we have some updates to share. Some things to say. Not updates that really affect you, listener, but fun updates for us, I suppose. We have moved our recording location.
Yes.
Our studio has moved.
Studio.
Yep.
It's moved approximately 25 feet to the left.
Uh-huh. And we lost our bathroom.
Yeah.
But we did gain a window.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be at least a lateral move.
Yeah. Cydel was trying to explain that to me, like how the fancy offices always have one or the other.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay. Honestly, I like this because it feels more open.
Yeah.
It's far less like we're sitting in a corner.
Well,
even though we are.
Yeah. This one just has taller ceilings.
Correct. Correct. That's another feature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can stand all the way up
Mm-hmm.
without having to like lean to the side.
I feel like as far as like butt space goes, I think we have about the same amount.
Oh, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe I overestimated the size of this alcove.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
I have no idea.
The width. And I thought maybe we could fit 2 desks in here, but then I put this one in here and I was like, oh, nope.
Were you going to try to put your like regular desk in here?
Yeah, I was going to put both of them and then we could have like more space to put like stuff in between us and have our mics not on top of each other and our knees not knocking.
Yeah, well, I really like being able to touch your toes with mine
okay.
while you're trying to talk because it
That's
makes
great.
me uncomfortable, but also it makes me feel good because I'm distracting you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But yeah, I put one of your fun carpets underneath. And now we only have one blanket.
Correct.
We're no longer like in a blanket fort. We just have a blanket door.
Yes.
Because we are in Jade's old room.
Mm-hmm.
Zach moved into the house.
Oh, yeah, that's another big
That's
thing.
a big move. Which is why we ended up moving spots. Because he has a couch. And the only place that it fits
was our old studio.
Yeah. Which was in the hallway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so how has your guys' like TV situation been going?
It's good. I like it. I've watched Tokyo Ghoul every night. I watched another anime.
Do you sit in bed?
Yeah, I sit in bed.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, there's no TV.
Yeah, it's in the bedroom.
Oh, okay.
It's in the bedroom.
Okay.
Have you looked at my bedroom?
No.
Yeah, but one downside to this space is now I guess it's only I think it's only a temporary thing. Tell me if I'm wrong, or seasonal thing. Mm-hmm. It's September and all of the flies are crawling in through the windows.
Yeah.
And they like this side of the house.
Because it's the warmest.
Yeah.
Yeah. From my experience, it is largely seasonal.
Uh-huh.
It's either flies or ladybugs.
Oh.
But you will have issues with both.
Fun.
At different points in the year.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah, but hopefully once, it gets, cold enough, they'll start just you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Leave you alone.
So we have like dozens of flies.
Yeah,
like
in this like 16 square foot area.
Yeah. And well, just bouncing against the walls and the ceilings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Walls and the ceilings and the windows.
I mean, technically there are different ceilings because it's like an angle.
Well, yes. It was the windows more than the walls that I was trying.
Yeah.
I was trying to say windows, not walls, because they're on the windows and the ceilings.
Mm-hmm. I just realized I didn't check my beer to make sure there wasn't any floaters in there, but there's not.
And it's fun. They're like in between the panes, and they're inside, and they're all just like banging against whatever it is that they're on. They're like,
Yeah,
it's
when
like,
I tried
why do we
to,
have to do this?
Look at the window and, kill one of them, but then I was blinded by the light. Before I was blinded, I saw a wasp. So, it was outside, though.
Oh.
It was just hanging out by the window.
It's like, what?
Yeah. No, it was hanging out by the window, and I was like, well, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. You could have wasps.
True.
Any hoodle.
Yeah, that was all of my updates and warnings.
Yeah, so if we sound a little weird, that might be why.
Yeah, and if you hear flies.
Yes, yeah, if you're a low droning, that might be what it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. An occasional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, at least they're staying away from us for the most part. Uh-huh. I mean, we're close enough to the window. Mm-hmm. It could be a problem, but they're hanging out up high, so.
Yeah, they're at least, I think they're quiet enough that the microphones will pick them up. But I definitely am like in here editing, and then I just hear, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I have to go get a fly swatter and
I love it.
Start whacking them because there's just too many of them. If there was like a couple of them, I would be able to ignore it. But like when there's 6 of them just in a chorus, it's like, I can't do this.
Keep in mind, when I moved back in here after college is when I bought a 5-pack of fly swatters.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find enough fly swatters to keep around up here.
Uh-huh.
Because I was so pissed off. Like, I was just like, why the frick are there flies everywhere? Mm-hmm. So I had 2 in my bedroom on 2 different sides of my room. There was one that lived in the hallway, one that lived in the bathroom. Like, I was like, there are fly swatters everywhere in this bitch.
It is so funny how you, like, how you deal with pests. Mm-hmm. Like the one time that there was apparently a mouse in the wall and you were like freaking out and like got a broom and
I literally like I was pounding on the walls because it was in this wall right here because my bed was in this little alcove and I could hear it scratch and I was like so I started banging on the wall. I was like, no, we ain't doing this right now. That wasn't working. So then I went downstairs to sleep because I was like, I can't sleep. That thing's going to come straight through the wall. You know how mice can just drill super quickly through anything, within 30 seconds. I was... I don't think they can hear the eye roll. But I went downstairs and I thought, okay, I'm safe. And then I hear this bitch in the ceiling. So the floor... of this level. So then I grab a remote and start beating the ceiling, which there's still black marks on the ceiling, by the way, in case you're wondering, from the dish remote that I mutilated the ceiling with. For years up here there was like a mouse alarm, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And now it's in my closet at my house because we saw a mouse once. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes a frequency.
I'm not dramatic at all.
Bothers them.
Yeah, it's too like high pitched. We can't hear it, but it bugs them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not dramatic at all.
Yeah, no.
I should have been a pest control guy.
Yeah, because you just come in and beat the shit out of everyone's house.
I'd be like, I see your problem. Let's burn it down.
Bang, 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 bang.
I would just
hire
overreact
Jade to wander
everything.
through your house with a remote and a fly swatter and just hit things until your pests are
I'd probably
gone.
upgrade to like a sledgehammer.
Ah! Yep, termites.
Yeah, the whole house is falling down. I'm like, you're welcome. That's $10,000.
You see, if you let these termites stay in your walls, they're going to demolish it within 3 years.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Why wait?
But if you hire me.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Especially because, like, I don't do mice. Like, there was a squirrel that walked, like, into our gated area at work, and I went, nuh-uh, and I turned around and walked away. I can't handle rodents.
Oh my god, it's a squirrel.
You didn't go to school in Milwaukee, and it shows.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
I was terrified of those outside garbage cans.
Yeah.
Especially if it was, like, getting darker so I couldn't see.
Uh-huh.
I'd be like, fuck it, I'm carrying my garbage all the way home. I'm not, we ain't taking chances in here. Yeah.
You should have brought an offering for them.
What do you mean? Encouraging them to live in the garbage can?
No, it's just a fee to, it's like they're like the mafia.
Oh my god.
And it's
like
for your
tax.
protection.
Oh my god. I don't want to have to negotiate with squirrels. Oh my god. Absolutely not. I'm starting to get over my fear of birds though, so.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I might be able to handle a bird or two. The little ones, actually, I can't. No, if I can't catch it easy.
What?
My mother-in-law has some really fat chickens.
Oh.
So it's a lot easier to catch those if they're acting out.
I thought you were trying to catch, like, mourning doves or something. And I was like, what songbirds are you catching? And, like, even though it's a crow, doesn't mean you have an easier time to catch it.
I think I'm just hanging out outside chasing birds. I say I'm getting over my fear of birds, and I'm just, like, running around outside, just like, here, birdie.
Well, you were like, well, okay, I thought that, your fear of birds, I think about the wild birds. And so, like, you were like, yeah, I can deal with birds, but the small ones that I can't catch. And I'm like, what wild birds are you catching? You see?
Only the big ones. You see me chasing a goose, I wouldn't survive.
Yeah.
I would die.
Yeah.
That would be on my tombstone. Idiocy. That's it.
Anyway. What do you have to tell me today?
Okay, well, first off, I have to start with a story. Okay? It leads in, I promise. Also, I keep yawning, so don't look at me.
The story is not the...
Birds, no.
No, I was like... There's a story that leads up to the story. Usually we just tell stories here.
Correct. So...
What did you do with Sexy Toad? Oh, he's still on the table. Oh,
don't worry. I haven't moved him yet.
Okay.
He's okay. He's safe.
Okay.
I have that song stuck in my head that, like, safe in my arms. No? Okay.
When you're lying here in my arms.
No! No! I'll have to find it for you. I can't remember
Speaking
any
of
of the rest of the
songs,
lyrics.
I made Zach watch Camelot. And he hasn't finished it, though. But
Hold on. It's not Camelot. It's Quest for Camelot.
Quest for Camelot, sorry.
My friend literally has that on her Vudu.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to Anne. She's a real homie. I watched that one time, and Alex is, like, totally against animated movies.
Oh.
So I was like, let's watch this. And she was like, you can watch it. And I was like, this is my freaking childhood, man. Like, I have a sticker of Kaylee on my laptop. Like, no. This is not just a me thing.
I was singing to Zach, oh, what I could be if there was only me. And he was like, what is this? What are you singing?
What I do.
And I was like,
you
haven't seen Quest for Camelot? You have to watch it right now.
You said, let me pull out this DVD and put it in.
Actually, fun fact, I didn't have to pull it out very far because it was on the entertainment center shelf. Okay, you watched it recently?
Yes.
Okay.
That was
like somebody was watching it recently.
Anne had it on her streaming thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you the reason why a Ziploc bag of DVDs just showed up?
Correct. They were in my house, and I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like American Pie was in there, and I'm like, I've never once wanted to watch the American Pie movies.
I thought it was the most random amalgamation of things.
It was.
There's a Wii game in there that I've never seen before in my life.
That one is from my wife's grandparents'
Oh,
house.
okay. I was like, we didn't have this.
No, but I thought maybe we should give it a try. It's a High School Musical, 3 dance game.
So I was like, you need to watch this movie so you can see. If I didn't have you, you can listen to it. And then I Stand Alone came up.
Oh my God. I love it.
Came first, and I was singing along with that one too. I was like, well, this is the second best song in the movie.
Oh my God. That man had me thinking that I actually liked men. That was, I was like, okay, I can dig it. I couldn't.
He's also very feminine, I think, in his face, just the way that his face looks.
He also has long hair.
Yeah. Also, maybe it's just his sexy eyes. The sexy blind man eyes. I was just going to
say, he's got cloudy eyes because they were trying to picture that he had eye damage.
Yes. But the way that he, looks. I was
just going to say, the way that he what?
I think they animate him so broody too, and it's just he's very sexy. I mean, it's he would be there was a trend where they were if you're gonna have a weird animated crush, and say, oh my goodness, my what is it? Or cringy, I don't know, weird animation crush or whatever it was. They were like, it has to be a character that's not conventionally attractive.
Yeah.
Spirit does not count.
Yes,
that is a conventionally attractive horse. He would not count.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That is a conventionally attractive horse. I forgot about that. Ooh, I like that. Okay, can I get back to my story, though?
Yes.
Okay, so Alex came and visited me at work because she's a really good wife. She brought me food, and we were just, hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
But she was, scrolling through TikToks on her phone. And I was like, okay, well, if she's going to do that, I'm just going to turn something on Disney+.
Mm-hmm.
So I open up Disney Plus and I click the last thing I was watching, and I set up my phone. I've got a little pop socket, so it's just holding itself up.
The only person who says a pop socket. I almost said hot pocket. A pop socket. Pop socket in 2024.
You know what? I will single-handedly keep them in business because truly, I have been converted. My friend Jackie had them forever on her phone, all throughout high school she had one. And I was like, it's not that great. And then I got one, and I was like, motherfucker, this is actually really nice.
I never really got into them. I had one on my iPod, and I
Did you?
Yeah, it's still on the case. Mm-hmm. I have we went to UW Milwaukee for a family day, and they were they had this one area where they were we have younger siblings swag, you know, so swag for younger siblings. So I went in and I got a pop socket and like some other stuff there, but I don't.
Yeah, I had one of those like card holder things on my phone for forever.
Oh yeah,
because like during college I had it so I could keep my ID with me.
Oh,
so I'd always forget about it.
Yeah,
and like lose it.
Yeah, it's difficult to figure out where to put stuff. I have like a pocket in my backpack, but I don't want to dig in it while I'm at the union. So I always I always stop at a chair and like pull out all my stuff. And if I put it in my pocket, it'd just fall out. You know, if I kept it in there for too long.
Yeah, so you have to like hold it in your hand awkwardly while you're walking through.
Well, I put it in my pocket when I go to the union, but if I were to sit with it in class, it would fall in my pocket for sure. It'd be gone.
Yeah.
My pop socket's like falling apart, but it's still on there. But also the case is falling apart, so it doesn't matter. Honestly, if I put the case on my iPod and then I try to hold it by the pop socket. It would just come off because there's nothing holding the
pop socket in your hand, though.
So unless the hard part popped off, and then it would just.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like falling apart. Basically, I don't know if it's even worth like putting on my iPod anymore. And but I think it is on my iPod.
First off, we got those iPods in like 2015. Do you still use yours?
No.
Oh, okay.
But
you're acting like this is like a thing that you've done recently.
Yes, because I pulled out my iPod because I thought maybe I would use it for Feed My Starving Children. Ooh,
okay.
There was a moment where I thought maybe I would end up using it. But actually I ended up using my MacBook, and it was amazing. It was the best decision ever. We've never had a better setup.
Yeah. You mean plugging in your iPod Nano on shuffle?
Mm-hmm.
Or is what we did the first year.
Somebody else's phone and then leaving it in the box or whatever. Yeah.
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 Not ideal.
Now they don't really they have Bluetooth. I don't think they even have. Well, I'm sure you could hook up an aux, but
not to my phone.
But they have Bluetooth, and I was a little worried about it for a little bit. I was like, how is this going to work? But it actually worked pretty well. As long as the signal's pretty good, as long as you don't leave the main room.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because once you get past a wall of bricks.
Yes. It is a brick building, yeah.
But this being on the other side of the room, but in the middle of the room, it worked great. And then I switched to my phone once I packed up my MacBook and we were still cleaning up. Then I was having problems because I was going into the side rooms.
Yeah. You don't want to just leave it in the middle.
No, I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Especially not the middle of the floor.
Yeah, once you picked up the table, yeah.
Yeah. But I did end up setting it on the countertop sometimes, but I could have also just also put it in the cabinet.
Correct.
But I didn't really want to do that.
Yeah.
But I could have.
Okay. Do you want to continue with my story?
Yeah.
Okay, because we went on 3 different tangents right there.
Well.
So I was setting up my phone, and I went on my way. I was just eating my lunch, and Alex looks at me and she's like, "Seriously?" And I was like, "What?
You still have a pop socket in 2024?"
No! She supports my pop sockets. She's like, "Genuinely, why do you like watching children's shows?" And I had put on Bluey. And I was like, well, I don't know. I just find them relaxing. They're comforting. Especially if you're feeling very emotional, I guess. Like, sometimes my job, like, I get really, like, heightened emotions because, like, the people around me tend to have heightened emotions. And that's just the nature of it. So I just, sometimes I'm like, I need to shut off my brain and I need to feel like I'm in a, like, super supportive, like, area, you know?
Okay.
And for me, that's, like, watching, like, Bluey or, like, other cartoons. Bluey just happens to be, like, the best one that'll do that real quick for me. So then I started thinking about this. And, like, I have a lot of comfort shows. I know you do, too. Like, mine are, like, Phineas and Ferb, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, Bluey, of course, like, Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, like, She-Ra, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra, like, these children's, quote-unquote, shows. And then also, like, my favorite movies all, like, tend to be animated. Like, I just, like, I, like, really, like, I loved the Disney princess movies. Incredibles is still one of my favorite movies. And then, like, especially the new Disney movies. I've been really digging those.
Yeah.
I definitely, it's not a nostalgia thing for me when I'm watching, like, Encanto or Turning Red because, like, I was 23. You know?
Yeah, why does she not like cartoons? Everybody else likes cartoons. Is it just because she had a sister that there was an age gap?
I'm wondering that might have been it because, like, her sister is 10 years younger than her.
Yeah.
So she did watch a lot of, like, Doc McStuffins and other stuff that, like 16, 17-year-old really doesn't want to watch.
Yeah.
But I think she genuinely just hasn't really been a cartoon girly. Ever. Whereas I very much have been.
Yeah.
So, like, you still watch, like, Avatar.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else. I know you watch anime, but a lot of that is more, like, adult-focused.
Yeah.
But
I think Alex would have a problem with that, too.
Oh, yes.
Because it's animated. Even though, like, it's all, like, blood and gore and, like...
Yeah.
Or, like, teen romance or both. Which is all the stuff I watch.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why she doesn't like animated things, especially because, like, for me, it is something that I'm, like, automatically going to gravitate towards versus, like, something that's live action. And I don't know why.
Yeah, I know we tried to get her to watch Avatar. But she still was like, nah.
Yeah, and her little sister tried, too, because she's been watching Avatar. And really nothing. She's just like, I can't focus on it. I can't pay attention to it. Yeah, I don't know.
Weird people, red flag.
Yes. So I was thinking about it and I was like, well, the reasons that why I like cartoons or, like, animated versions of things is because, well, number one, they make me happy. Number two, there is a lot of nostalgia rewatching that I do. Especially when I'm feeling any type of, like, heightened emotion. I actually tend to like the plot lines in animated things more than in, like, live action because they tend to be cleaner. That might be a hot take. But, like, specifically with one of the shows that I've watched most recently, I'm not going to give any spoilers at all, but I watched Bridgerton Season 3. That season was all over the place. Like, they tried to throw in as much as possible. And I don't think that would have happened if it was an animated show.
Maybe.
Because you have to add a lot more effort into an animated show.
True.
Like, if you want to add an extra little scene, that's a whole new, like, background art, whole new, like, animation that you have to work on.
Character design.
Exactly. And I simply don't think that would have happened.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think it's just the benefits don't outweigh the cons.
Yeah. I mean, this is a kind of a little bit of a different world, but like, I have the same complaint about Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh, yeah.
Watching Tokyo Ghoul, and I'm like, oh my god, why didn't we just, like, create, like, 10 characters, and then just, like, follow their lives, like, and they had problems within, between them, and, like, maybe, like, there's some characters that come in and out, but, oh my god, they have a new cast every season, and they're constantly adding more characters, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, so, and that's an anime, but, I don't know. But also, I think studios that make anime are also, like, insane, because anime is very hard to make.
Yes.
Is very, very hard to make. The, like, animation style is super involved.
Yes.
And that is, it's too much for American animation. Like, American animation is so stripped down.
Yes.
Compared to anime. So, for sure, like, in American animation, you're going to find less characters.
Yeah.
For that reason, because character design is so hard. And, yeah. But, yeah. But that's just so... And usually animes don't have this many characters. They're
Correct,
not
yes.
adding a new character. Well,
every episode.
Well, actually, that kind of is something that happens in anime, is that there is a new character added every single episode, but but anyway.
Yeah.
Like, Tokyo Ghoul just dumps like 5 characters on you at a time, and it's just the most ridiculous. And it's not even a long anime. It's like, we have like 2 episodes with this character, and then they become like a background character, but they're still there, and you replace them though with another character. It's like, why? Why did we do this? I care about that character, and I would like another episode about them, please.
Yes, I would like to see this person again.
Yeah. It's like, I liked that character. Why did you throw them away? And you're like, oh yeah, they're just like, they're working. Who cares what they're, they're just not doing anything interesting. They're just at work.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, I would rather see that than this new character that I don't care about.
Yeah, and then you have to, like, get to know them, and you're like, I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me the other person. Yeah. But I think you are right with American animation. Yeah.
I edit a couple of Disneyland podcasts, not Disney affiliated podcast.
Yeah.
But they were talking about recently Disney and IP, how in the parks they don't want to add anything that is not an existing IP. Like, I mean, rides like Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, like the Jungle Cruise, all of these things that were original Haunted Mansion. Yeah, I said Haunted Mansion. Yeah. Like Tron and all of the rides initially, except maybe a couple, were original.
Yeah.
To the parks.
Yes. That was like a new concept.
Yeah.
Like they didn't take a story from somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. But now when they add a new ride, they're like, well, it's Tiana's Bayou because we have this character and like we can add her to the parks and stuff like that. They're also kind of doing the same. They're not kind of. They are doing the same thing with their movies and shows. Is that they are just taking existing IP and making sequels. And
can you explain IP, please?
Intellectual property.
There you go.
So they're just making sequels. They're afraid to like introduce new characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's always that fear of like people aren't gonna like it.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of, like, what kind of killed... I know we are not talking about Disney movies right now, but that's kind of what killed, like, Disney animation the first time that they had, like, a big dip, was because they were just trying to, like, kick out sequels because they went, well, people like these characters. Maybe it can make us more money. And everyone kind of got bored.
Yeah. In like the 80s, after Walt died, they were like, well, this is the perfect movie formula. So they just kept making movies that looked exactly the same. And everybody was like, I don't want to watch the same movie all over again. Yeah. Because they're afraid of trying something new, but that's the whole... That's what Disney was founded on, trying new things.
That was Walt's whole, like, mission.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that deviation that almost killed them.
Yes.
But, I feel like now it's a monster that's too big.
Yeah.
You know, they think that, we can make some mistakes here and there.
Well, yeah. Also, like... Yeah, they're hemorrhaging money everywhere but the parks.
Correct. Yes.
Where they're just printing money at the parks. So like it's it's a whole thing of like this company will just never die, even though like because they've got a system that is functioning and they're not going to stop.
I know, I'm not necessarily a big fan of capitalism.
Yeah.
But I will remain a fan of Disney simply for, like, the nostalgia and the thought that was put into a lot of the original pieces. Like, It's a Small World, like, all of these things that took so many people so much time to build. I will always respect that.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying is I'm a sucker. Even though I'm like, not a big fan of this part. But
yeah,
I like the colors.
Yeah. Anyway, what were you saying?
Oh, with like the animated shows that I like, there's always like a happy ending. You know, especially with kids shows, there is that happy ending. A lot of the themes are super easy to follow, and I can just like turn it on in the background and just like have it running. Like, you watch a 20-minute episode, like, one time where you're kind of half focusing and you got it. Like, you know what it's about.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like when I watched Game of Thrones, I didn't see the last season for forever because I was like, I need to have time to sit down and watch this.
Yeah.
Because I knew...
I had the same...
I couldn't throw it on.
Yeah.
Like, I had a roommate who was just like, she would throw it on and she was watching it as they were coming out and I was like, no... I can't do that because if I stop, like, even for a second, stop watching it, I'm going to miss something. And then I'm going to be like, what happened? So I think that's part of why I really do enjoy animated children's stuff. And I feel like it also kind of, like, reminds me of when life was simpler.
Yeah.
You know, like, Phineas and Ferb don't have bills. You know those bitches don't have bills.
I know. Sometimes you watch Phineas and Ferb, though, and go, like...
Who's bankrolling this?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's not like they, like, sell it at the end of the...
No.
Like, it
usually disappears.
Fucking disappears. Like, all the money that they invested in this thing...
Yeah,
assuming that they did, which there's just definitely no money in this world.
So there's no way.
So...
Are they even middle schoolers? I think they might be in 4th grade.
Yeah, they're like in 5th grade.
That's
like
insane
they're like
me.
they're 10.
That's insane to me.
They're 10. But that money is just gone. And also like Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I think he owns that building at least, or does
he? Doesn't because
he doesn't.
He like was at risk of it being evicted.
Okay,
the whole
so
building.
He's just a renter.
Correct.
But he's still spending tons of money on gadgets and, you know, the stuff that he's building that also just fucking disappears.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's why he lives off of his ex-wife's alimony money.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Dr. Doofenshmirtz had money. Situations, but the boys did not.
Yes.
But also, like...
But I feel like that's also, like, kind of, like, this is a
Kids
grown-up
don't.
problem.
Yeah. This is a grown-up problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So only the grown-up
yes.
would have this problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just mathed that out.
We just mathed it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crack the code.
Yeah.
Money does not exist.
In childhood.
If you are 10, we need to go back to being 10.
That's it.
And then we could build crazy homes and structures and a whole world and with no money.
Yes.
The lumber costs, they would waive it because we were children.
They would say, "Aren't you a little young for this?" And we'd say, yes, I am. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Please leave it right there.
Actually, maybe they just rizzed their way into everything. because honestly, like, at that time, like, you would be paying. You would be paying at the door for things.
Yeah.
So maybe they just, like, they really just rizzed their way out of paying for the things. Because the adults were just like,
yeah,
okay, you can do that.
Yeah.
And they forgot that they were supposed to charge them.
Yeah, well, even the things where, like, they could have made money. Like, there was even times when, like, Buford would be like, we're making a killing. And they'd be like, we aren't charging admission. And I'm like, you aren't charging admission?
Yeah, like, they never charged. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, these animated children. Anyway, so, you know, the animated children. I looked up why others like this, and I found a pretty good, like, post on r/television on Reddit, and the original, like, post, like, the title is, "Why do adults watch children's cartoons?" And the OP for this is really judgmental. Oh. Like, they're basically just like, grow up. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people were like, you need to grow the fuck up. Like, let people like what they like. Mm-hmm. Like, why do you give a shit? Like, why are you so focused? I think it was, like, Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Like, Teen Titans Go was coming out. Oh, I want to say, I don't even know how many years ago it was, but, like, it was coming out, and people were saying, like, oh, they were upset about how it was going to be written. Uh-huh. And this, like, OP was just like, well, this is stupid. You shouldn't care. And, like, a lot of people had some really good, like, comments without, like, being super, like, douchey. But, like, a lot of people were like, okay, number one, with this specific instance, this is largely, like, nostalgia viewing.
Yes.
These are people who have been fans, and they are watching a, like, quote-unquote remake. Mm-hmm. And, like, of course they're gonna have an opinion.
Yeah.
Like, people with fucking Star Wars had an opinion.
Yeah.
When the prequels came out. Mm-hmm. And then the sequels.
Yeah.
And, like, nobody was affected. It's not even an animated thing. It is still something that was, like, for that age group. Mm-hmm. People were still, like, upset about it. Mm-hmm. So, like, I think that was just a stupid example that they try to pull up and be like, look, see, it's children's stuff. Like, this is something that has, like, a basis. Like, there's, like, a history of this specific thing. Mm-hmm. Another point that people made is just, like, people just like watching this.
Yeah.
Like, let people like what they like watching. And then someone pointed out something that really resonated with me, which was, like, taking a break from intense plot lines. Mm-hmm. So a lot of, like, adult stuff, even the adult animated shows, sometimes they have intense plot lines that you need to follow.
Yeah.
Which is, like, that whole Game of Thrones thing. Like, I needed to be able to, like, sit down and focus. Yeah. And my ass can't do that very frequently. Mm-hmm. So being able to watch something that, like, I can walk out of the room for, like, 4 minutes, come back and be like, okay, chill, this is what happened. Mm-hmm. Because I can tell based on context clues. Or whatever it was. Really wasn't that important. So I think that's, like, a big thing. It's also, like, with that nostalgia, it could be an area of interest thing. Mm-hmm. So if you're seeing that, like, another DC show is coming out.
Yes.
You're like, oh, maybe I want to watch that if you're a fan of, like, DC Comics.
Yeah. Yeah, even though, like, this is a children's Batman show, I'm still a fan of Batman.
Yes. And, like, with a lot of those people, they grew up with, like, old Batman shows. Mm-hmm. Of course you're going to watch a new one if it comes out, because you're like, oh, shit, I want to see how they do the remake. Like, I want to see how it works. Like, is it written well? Do I get to sit and go, yeah, this isn't for me? You know, being able to, like, follow along. Mm-hmm. It's like with comic books, though. Like, they're going to keep printing them.
Yeah.
And if you're not following...
Yeah.
Like, people who are also in, like, the fandom might be like, oh, yeah, this thing. And you'll be like, what? And then one person said, like, they try to enjoy media based on the content and not the target audience. Mm-hmm. Which I really liked that. Because, like, if it's something where you read, like, the synopsis, and you're like, oh, shit, that sounds like something I would really dig, but then you see it's for, like, 10 and up or whatever, and you're like, oh, I can't watch that because it's for kids. Like, you're a loser.
Yeah. Well, and I made the point, because this was something that Alex brought up at our family dinner the other day.
Yeah.
And she was like, why do you watch, like, My Little Pony? And I said, like My Little Pony, Avatar. I forgot. I did not say it that the other night. But now, once you said Avatar, I was like, oh, yeah, that one, too.
Yeah.
Listen to a Avatar rewatch podcast every single week. But I still forgot about it. And, like, even, like Gravity Falls has some, too, like... some of these have like real world themes.
Yes.
And like very adult themes that like they are interesting.
Yes.
For adults as much as they are for children.
Yeah.
And like I was like, there's like bronies don't just exist for no reason. Like,
well, and a lot of people pointed out that a lot of this media is stuff that, like, there isn't a, like, relationship aspect. Like, you don't have to worry about who's falling in love with who, what's happening, because, like, you don't have to worry about, like, oh, are these characters going to get together and make it an issue? Like, it is a, like, simple, like, we're either friends or we're not. And that is the plot line. So it's not something where you're, like, will they, won't they, and are we going to, like, have any awkward, like, sex things, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, even with Avatar, which I'm thinking of right now, there was a lot of love triangles.
Yeah.
But they weren't ever that serious.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't something that was pivotal.
Yeah.
To anything. Like, of course, it made one or the other character, like, sad. For, like, you would see little glimpses, and you'd be like, oh, my heart. But, in the end, like, everything, like, plays itself out to where everyone gets their happy ending. You know?
Yeah.
Even if it's not the one that you were hoping for.
Yeah.
The happy ending is still there.
Yeah.
And another honorable mention was that I saw a lot of teachers on there saying, I watch some of this younger content. Like, I don't think I would go out of my way to watch, like, Paw Patrol unless I was, like, teaching kids where that's relevant, you know? At least to, like, know the characters' names and, like, other stuff that when they're bringing it up. Because Lord knows, like, if a kid is coming up and talking to you about someone, you're going to be like, who? Like, I had a kid, I had no idea about this show at the time, but when I worked at a daycare, they came up to me and they were talking about Knuckles, and they would keep making fists. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Turns out it's from Sonic.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, I don't need you to be, like, threatening the other kids around here. So I literally had no idea. I was like, we aren't gonna, like, do that here.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, well, it was from a freaking, like...
video game.
Yes. Yeah, and it's totally fine. Like, this is age-appropriate content for a 5-year-old. But I was still like, Yeah. Because I just didn't know. So, like, knowing things that are, like, popular with, like, kids that you're around as an educator is kind of important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I do remember, like, you knew stuff about, like, Cocomelon and, like, there was, like, a vampire show?
A vampire show?
Yeah, I feel like there was, like, a children's show that it was centered around a vampire or something somewhat recently. Or a couple years ago.
Yeah, I can't think of the name, but yeah.
Okay.
It's a little girl with pigtails.
Yeah.
And fangs, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And I was like, never heard of this show before in my life. And like, it was because you were working with children.
Yeah. Yeah, like you want to be able to see like if they have characters on their shirt. Like I know Paw Patrol is the one I can remember because all their names are really easy and they're also like based on the job they're doing.
Yes.
So like being like, oh, you have Marshall on your shoes. Or like, oh, look, it's Rubble.
Yeah.
Like they're like, yeah, it is. And they get really excited. Whereas if you're like, who's that? And they say, oh, it's Marshall. You're like, who's Masha?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I absolutely love language acquisition is one of my favorite things. But also, when you're watching it live and in person, there's a lot of times when you're like, what? Like, what are you saying right now? So,
yeah.
It's important to know the context.
Yeah. And it's a point of connection.
Yes.
To just like be able to recognize the characters that your that the children you're teaching are obsessed with.
Yes.
You know?
Like even as a parent, like having it on in a like place that you are paying attention a little bit to, it can help with like talking with your children because there are some themes in there like these shows are made a certain way for a reason because they are meant to be educational. Like a lot of these, like this is, a lot of it is social emotional education. How these characters are relating to others is the most important part of the plot.
Yeah.
For young minds. So knowing like, oh, the thing that this person did was like naughty. But then this friend helped them to make it better. That is something like you want to be able to know. Whereas if like your kid is talking about like two random people, you're like, who are you watching fight? Like what is happening?
Yeah.
You know? Which I think it comes a lot more naturally when it's happening in your home around you. But yeah, for educators, it's very important.
Yeah, for sure. It's letting kids observe situations that they wouldn't normally observe.
In a safe way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because kids will throw hands. Like, they will. A lot of times, like, if they're feeling a big feeling and it's hurting them on the inside, they're like, fuck it, I'm gonna punch you. Like, you're making me upset. Whereas, like, on a TV show, they're gonna talk it out first.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna use words. And then that kind of helps lead. I'm not saying sit your kid in front of a TV forever. But, these types of media can help with a lot of, like, social emotional things. Like, and a lot of kids will make a connection. Like, oh, I'm, like, my favorite character in this show right now. Because they also had a very similar situation to this happen. So, that might be a good way for me to handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that we've talked about early childhood education. Let's talk about cartoons. Okay?
Yes.
In general, okay?
Okay.
So I read an article from Vice.com. It is titled Therapists Explain How Cartoons Affect Your Mental Health. And this was written by Elizabeth Sherman, and this is from 2017, so it's a little on the older side. I know that kind of hurts, that was 7 years ago. But a lot of this was talking about her own experience with the fact that she watched, I think it was Penguins of Madagascar.
Okay.
Like, that was her comfort show, like, when she was in a really bad place. So she talked to 2 different doctors and then 1 animator. And I'm going to go through each of their accounts as to why adults, like, watch cartoons for, like, mental health. So the article kind of starts with Dr. David Rosmarin. I should have read these out loud before I wrote these down. I think the other ones are easier, yeah. He's the founder and director of the Center for Anxiety in New York City. Mm-hmm. So he was talking about how there is, like, a way that you can help yourself with, like, mood disorders like anxiety, depression, through behavioral activation. So basically, increasing the activities that give you pleasure can help you lift your mood.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, when you say it out loud, is a duh. But also, like, I don't really think about that. So he kind of pointed out that, like, comedies or your comfort shows can be a big mood lifter when you're feeling anxious or, like, depressed. And then Dr. Laurel Steinberg, she's a New York-based psychotherapist, and she said that cartoons can act as a support treatment because of their themes. Like, there is community order, there's friendship, there's family, teamwork, the good guys always win, and then there's that, like, positive, like, the sun will come out tomorrow, and it kind of helps restore your optimism. Kind of like when you've lost faith in humanity, you can always turn to the animated humanity, whether that be cartoon dogs. Like, it's something where you know what's going to happen. There's that predictable pattern. And then she said, cartoons model higher frustration tolerance and activate a person's problem-solving abilities. Which I thought was really interesting, especially the higher frustration tolerance, because when they're, like, writing these, you do have that time to think about stuff, especially with, like, little kids. Whereas a lot of that is, like, a reaction first and then a thought. So that kind of helps you, like, with your anxiety, because it kind of gives you that, like, good answer, quote unquote, first, and then with, like, activating your problem solving abilities, that can actually help reduce anxiety and depression symptoms, because it kind of builds up your basic problem solving skills in yourself that kind of trigger, like, anxiety attacks and stuff, because you're like, oh, well, what if? But if you're problem solving, that kind of eliminates a lot of those. And then the next person is the professional animator. His name is Tony Solano. He's a professional animator and a comedian. And he had this really great quote: animation lightens the load of the normally rough subject. So, for example, if a person, like a real life person, like an actor is depicted getting injured, you're more likely to go, woof. Whereas if it's, like, Looney Tunes characters.
Yeah.
And they hit a brick wall, like when Wile E. Coyote hits a brick wall with his face, you're like, oh, that's slapstick. That's funny. Yeah. Whereas if it was, like, a regular, like, human being, you're like, like.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Looney Tunes probably has the same amount of, like, and almost the same frequency of, like, people getting hurt. It's like America's Funniest Home Videos when they do theirs. But that segment, like, I mean, I think it's purposely not long because, like, you just watch people, like, get hurt over and over again. And, like, it bothers you. Yes. But, like,
it becomes almost painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Looney Tunes doesn't.
No, it's an animated character. Like, you can look at them and you can, like, kind of remove yourself from that situation.
And you know that, like, they don't have to go to the hospital.
Yes. But yeah, their nose is going to pop right back out the second they back away from the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're like, Ooh, did that person survive?
Yes. Yeah, watching people, like, especially, like, falling off of a roof when they're trying to get snow off of their roofs. That was always something where I was like, oh! But if it was, like, an animated character, like if Bugs Bunny was up on a roof and he fell, I know he's going to make that bunny-shaped hole in the snow. Yeah. And he's going to pop right back up. So there's no pain involved in that. For me, at least. Yeah. Ooh, and then I found something. It was a list of, it was called an informational sheet of fun activities that you can do if you're feeling anxious. It's from the Center of Clinical Interventions, and I believe it's based out of Australia, mostly because they spelt center CENTRE. And it says .gov.au, excuse me.
I do it too.
Yeah. So twice it was listed, like watching TV in general. So number 17 was watching TV and videos. And then number 294, this was like an almost 400 item list, was watching a funny video or movie. So, like, these are things that do genuinely, like, uplift you based on, like, science and even, like, recommendations. Okay. From other places. So, yeah, that was my deep dive into proving my wife that I'm not the weird one.
Yeah. Well, nice.
All right. Now that I've taken us on a clinical journey, like briefly mentioned my personal experience, what do you have for us, Cydel?
Well, I am here to tell you about Wisconsin state symbols.
Ooh. Okay.
So, you know the symbols, like the
badger,
the state bird and the state flower and the state animal. State animal.
Their motto.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have the motto on there?
No, I don't.
What it is? It's one word.
4 word.
Yes.
I know what it is, but I didn't want to cover all of them.
That's fair.
Because I wanted to kind of let them be split up, and it's also just like a lot of information. Like there are like 50 of these things.
Yeah. I'm sure there's like one state who is like, oh, we can have a state this, and then everyone else is like, fuck, we have to come up with one.
Yeah. So, and I didn't want to just like spit them all out at you.
Holy shit.
Yeah, literally.
Is that
like
your list?
This is the list.
Oh my god, that's 2 screenshots long.
Yeah. It only is like this much that was
that's okay,
bleeding
holy
over,
crap.
but like it's I mean I could just spit them all out at you, but they wouldn't mean anything.
No.
So I want to give you like a little bit of background for the things. So the state nickname is the Badger State. A lot of you probably know, some of you maybe don't. It's kind of a known, not known thing. If you're from Wisconsin, you maybe have heard the lore, but like people from out of Wisconsin are like, I think they have a lot of badgers in Wisconsin or something. But
don't we have like no badgers?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We might have badgers, but
I don't think it's a very
really
prominent species.
No.
Okay, go with the story.
So, the nickname, the Badger State, came from lead miners. In the 1820s, the prospectors came to Wisconsin looking to mine lead, and they didn't have adequate housing. So, they made shelters in hillsides. They dug holes in hillsides for the winter.
Yeah,
and
that's geothermal right there.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, like, I mean, we should all live in the ground.
I kind of want a hillside home.
Yeah.
But then I don't.
You'd have to build one here. So we live in a valley.
Oh, yeah, we would have to build a hill, but when I see people with hillside houses, I'm like, ooh, that's so cool. Like, I, like, respect, but I also just kind of want to live on the second story as well, and, like, you can't You can do one or the other. There's no both.
If your roof is also the ground.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, so people would see these people and they're like, you're like a badger inside of a hill. What the heck? Yeah. So that's where it comes from. And then
badgers like back into their dens.
Oh, yeah, it's so cute. I love that.
They lead with their butts.
Like, yeah, they lead with their butts, and they do it so confidently.
Even
so
if it's
funny.
your garage that they're backing into.
Yeah, there was a video of a badger backing into somebody's garage, and they were trying to like they were kicking it out of the garage, but the badger just kept like backing in really fast. And at the end, they managed to get the door closed, and the badger backed into the door, and then was just like, "No."
Yeah, they're like, "Oh shit, this is the end of it."
Yeah, they just like real quick, like, doo.
Yep. Yeah.
This is my home. Bop, bop, bop.
Yep. A little butt wiggle backwards.
So our estate animal is the badger, and it is tied to that story. Our state bird is the robin.
Correct.
Why the robin is a state bird? The Federation of Women's Clubs conducted a bird study or bird studies in schools, in Wisconsin schools.
What year?
In the school year of 1926 to 1927. The children chose the bird. And honestly, I think that school children are intrinsically linked to the state symbols, because they often ask schools, well, what do you think that they should be?
They also, to be honest though, with children, like, they only know so much.
Yeah.
So they're not going to overthink it.
Correct.
They're going to just tell you what they think. And a lot of times, like, if the robin is the bird you see the most around you, and everyone says, oh, that's a robin, that's a robin, that's a robin, and you don't know anything else, they're going to be like, think of a bird, and you'll be like, a robin.
Yeah.
Duh.
Exactly. It was because it was recognizable was one of the reasons why the children chose the bird. It won 2-1 to its nearest competitor.
Wow, okay. Landslide.
So, yeah. The robin is one of the top 5 most prevalent summer residents. It is a migratory bird, and it is often associated as a symbol of the coming of springtime.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's why. That's why the children were like, the robin, because my parents were like, oh my goodness, look, a robin, spring's coming.
Yeah. Well, I happen to agree with the children from the school year of 1926 to 1927 that, yeah, I do think that is the best bird.
Yeah. So
I may be biased, though.
But even though the robin is thought to be like the first sign of spring, the killdeers, Canadian geese, and red-winged blackbird all come back to Wisconsin before the robins do.
Let me just tell you about killdeer. I do not like those birds.
They're too small. You can't catch them.
I forgot about that.
They're also very fast.
I was just gonna say, I'm in like their number 1 like hate group because they're really freaking fast, and they run on the land. Like, that's their preferred travel.
Yes,
is running.
Yep.
And then they put their nests in the most stupid fucking spots, and they get mad at you for walking on the road. Why do you put your nest right next to the road? You're gonna get squished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The birds don't know.
They should. They should learn. Can we have a school, please? You know how the deer don't ever cross at the deer crossing sign? We should really teach them.
Yeah.
That's a joke, by the way. There was someone in my high school when she learned how to drive. She was like, why don't the deer just, like, cross there? I'm like, do you think deer read signs? Do you think this deer is like, oh my god, that looks like me, y'all?
Yeah.
I gotta hang out here.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. I like never see deer by the interstate, but I saw a fawn recently and I was like, this is how they end up roadkill. Is that just like they're a baby and they just like get habituated to the interstate.
Yeah.
And it was just like chilling like on like the grass of like an overpass. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Like that thing's gonna be roadkill.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Destined.
The state dog. This is an interesting one. I feel like we don't usually talk about state dogs.
What is our state dog?
The American Water Spaniel.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I wouldn't connect, but okay.
This is wild. I don't know about the children. I don't know which children did it. It might have been more of like hunters associations instead of children, because I think that children probably like they would just all start shouting their family dog.
Yes,
and it would be
probably
a mess.
Just their name too. They wouldn't know the breed.
Yeah. Yep.
They'd just be like, Fido. Who the fuck is Fido?
Yeah. Can we have a state dog mascot?
Yeah.
And can it be my dog?
Yes. Oh my god.
Okay.
Can you imagine if it was our childhood dog? Jack was not the most conventionally attractive dog.
He was very cute. What are you talking about?
He was incredibly cute, but he always looked different. I don't think I have one picture that looks the same.
He had a rubber face.
Yeah. Well, and then we would like shave him and you'd be like, the fuck is this?
I know. It is always the most like jarring.
Mm-hmm. You go from this fuzzy thing to like skinny rat. And you're like, hello?
Yeah.
Do you live here?
Yeah. One time I joked that someone stole my dog and replaced him.
Yeah, you gave him a new name and everything.
Yep. I gave him a new name. I was like, this is not my dog. And he acts different too because he was like more energetic because he could now see.
Yes, he could see and he wasn't freaking dying.
And heavy. Yeah. Super hot. Oh, man. Yes. So actually, I really did not know the history of this dog whatsoever.
Yes, I don't know either.
It is a Midwest breed. It was bred in the Midwest for hunting waterfowl. Hunters needed a dog that could withstand the cold of the Wisconsin environment and be able to fit in the skiff.
Oh.
Which is a boat?
Yes.
Okay.
That I know of, yes.
Okay. Is a type of boat.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
I hope so anyway, otherwise I look like a fool.
Okay. It was developed in the Fox and Wolf River valleys.
Oh.
So, like, literally right in Wisconsin. And, like, and designed to work in the Great Lakes region.
I love that.
Yeah.
I don't really see those dogs around, but I love that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know very many people with hunting dogs anymore.
Yeah.
It's really kind of not a thing. Mm-hmm. But if I did know people with hunting dogs, I'm sure they would have known about this breed.
I mean, but like labs and golden retrievers, and Jackie has a German short-haired pointer.
Yes.
Those are all hunting dogs.
Heard GSP said out loud. It's like when people say consumer value store.
Oh. Well.
Like, that's just fucking CVS, man. Take a deep breath, you fancy ass.
I don't really like the abbreviation for German Shepherd. Like, when people are like, a GSD. Because it's also like German Shepherd dog. Like,
is that really what the D is?
Yeah.
Just call it a German Shepherd.
Yeah, like why didn't we just say the word? It's a lot to type out, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I usually just call the dog that Jackie has. His name is Tank. He's very cute.
I've not met him.
Really?
Nope.
Oh my god, he's like getting really big.
I know.
But he I just call him a pointer.
Yeah. But pointing is a hunting skill.
Correct. Yes.
So.
You are correct. Yeah. She's been taking him to her boyfriend's gun shows.
Oh, yeah.
Because he does trap shooting. To get him used to it, and he's actually doing very well.
Yeah.
Getting used to, gunfire.
Yeah. So the state flower is the wood violet.
Did you bring a picture? Do you want me to Google it
No,
for myself?
But it looks like a pansy. It looks like similar to a pansy.
Girl, you think I know flower types? What'd you call it? A wood
violet.
Violet.
Because, like, pansies are, like, a type of violet or something like that.
Those are very lovely.
Pansies and violets are related and kind of also the same.
It says it's called a sweet violet as well.
So, and it's...
Okay, those are really...
But it is, like, a pale purplish.
Yes.
It's all over purple. It's not...
Yes.
Some pansies have, like...
Spots and
yeah, different colors, like purple and yellow or blue and something, and this one's just purple.
Yeah. Are they invasive? They are invasive. That would explain your mother's front yard.
Yeah.
And they will quickly invade your yard.
Yeah, they really, really, somebody brought us a
small pot.
Small, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a big pot.
And it wasn't the only flower in there.
No.
But it just, it's now all the way along our porch.
Yeah, it looks really pretty right now, but...
It does.
I'll have to let Mom know that she has to watch how far they come out.
Our parents mow right in front of it, so that's really, it's controlling it pretty well. So, this one was picked by school children in 1909.
Oh, this one's older, okay.
But it was designated in 1949.
Oh, they waited 40 years? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got?
So, it thrives in our wet climate.
The wetlands?
Yeah.
What thrives in the wetlands?
The flower! What are you talking about? The wood violet thrives in wet climate.
I thought you were trying to say something else, and I was like, is there like a fucking frog? What's wrong? We're still talking about the flower. Okay.
No,
I'm caught up.
I've changed my...
I thought we were done with the flower. Okay. The wood violet.
Yeah, I just came here to describe what it looks like, and then I'm done.
Now I know what a pansy looks like, too, so thank you.
Yeah. Changed my whole format from telling you what the thing is and then explaining it to explaining it and then having you guess what the thing is. Okay. And they grow in all but 4 counties in Wisconsin.
What are the 4 counties?
I don't know.
You need to be able to list these things if you say them.
Assumably it is Northwest, because the article that I read it from said that they grow all the way from Racine to Milwaukee.
Are you fucking with me?
And Madison to Green Bay.
Racine to Milwaukee?
I know, I read that. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like 45 miles.
Yeah, 45 miles. Yeah, it's like, okay, I've heard people say Eau Claire to Milwaukee.
Yes. Which that is, I will accept that, because that is from the west to the east.
Yes.
And, like, more
it
northern
actually makes sense.
to southern.
Yeah. I don't know. Somebody was just like...
Racine to Milwaukee?
Yeah.
That's just following the fucking Michigan...
Yeah.
Like Michigan. I almost said Michigan River. Oh
yeah.
my God.
They're literally are so close. They could almost not get closer.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're like growing into each other.
Yeah.
Jesus. Sorry to make fun of that person who wrote that article.
But yeah. But I just read that and I was like, why would you say that? Like, they're like... Yeah, they're trying to describe how
far and like prevalent it is. Yeah.
Yes, but they chose these cities that are right next to each other.
Literally, like the closest cities to each other. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, and the West Coast, but the west, the west side of Wisconsin is
West
not.
Coast of Wisconsin.
Is not well.
It counts.
Well, it's a coast. Well, is not represented whatsoever.
No. It's like central Wisconsin to the east with Madison.
And the east to the east.
If you're including Madison. Or the southeast to the slightly less southeast. Like not even, I wouldn't say north. Slightly less south.
Yeah.
By just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to make fun of them. I don't even know who they are. It was a choice. It was a bad choice, but it was a choice.
The state dance is the polka.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew you were going to say polka. Fun fact about Jade, I do not like polka music.
Oh.
You didn't know that? I have said this to so many people.
I suppose you don't.
I don't like polka. Everyone was like, how can you be studying German and you don't like polka? I'm like, sometimes mistakes are made. Sometimes you realize every time you go to a cultural event that's going to be around you, that is relative to the language that you speak, you are going to have to be faced by exclusively the music that you hate. Like, I don't hate any other kind of music. Like, I listen to pretty much anything. And I don't mean that in like, I listen to like pop and also like rap. Like that sort of thing. Like, I will listen to literally anything. Yeah, not polka. I can't do it. I even like jazz.
Yeah.
Polka? No. Okay, anywho, the dance. Polka, the dance. Not
which is
the music.
Which is very closely related to polka, the music.
You're right.
Because we have the polka because of our German heritage.
I kind of spoiled
in Wisconsin.
That one.
It was designated in 1993.
Oh,
yeah, very
She's
recent.
New? Okay,
very recent. I mean,
I feel like this is one of those that another state said we have a state dance.
Yes,
we were
probably.
like, oh, what the fuck is our state dance? Yeah,
and it was some polka organizations and the second grade class at Charles Lindbergh Elementary.
Oh my god, a specific school?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. That's actually really cute.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, I'm not mad anymore.
Yep.
I mean, all of these people are like well into their 30s now, but
yeah,
I'm not mad anymore.
Yeah, so that is my smattering for today.
Perfect. I hated it. That was wonderful. Why did you fucking end on polka?
Well, I didn't...
Did you forget about me?
Yeah, I did not think it was going to trigger you.
Well,
for your troubles, the state fruit is the cranberry.
surprisingly, I already knew that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not like you used to eat them straight out of the bag from the freezer.
Have we talked? I feel like we've talked about Wisconsin's cranberry production.
Yes, I feel like
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of the crops and products. Mm-hmm. It's very obvious why they are, because we just produce a lot of them.
Yes.
We produce more cranberries than the rest of the world.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I do believe we produce 50%.
I think 60.
Okay. We gotta go to the Cranberry Museum. Mm-hmm. I also want to have cranberry ice cream, though, so maybe we should road trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it will be about that time next weekend.
You're right.
Uh-huh.
It is the end of September.
Mm-hmm. Cranfest is coming up, so honorable mention to cranberries.
Yeah, if you're anywhere along I-94, by all means.
Come on up to Warren's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The last weekend in September.
Yeah, every sign that I see.
Last full weekend in September.
Yes. It must be a full the Saturday, weekend. Sunday.
Yeah. Yep. We got like 5 weekends in this month.
Really?
Yep. Sunday was September 1st was a Sunday. So.
Oh, you're right.
Mm-hmm. So I guess it's not really, the first one wasn't really a full weekend. It was just a Sunday. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, well, you might spot me there. Actually, I might not go during Cranfest. Just because I'm not a big fan of big festivals. I went to the Ren Fair in Shakopee. Shout out to Minnesotans.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that was a little bit much for me. And it was super freaking hot. So, yeah. But maybe I'll go just for the cranberry cream puff.
Mm-hmm.
I love a good cream puff. We already talked about this with the State Fair. I love a good cream puff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what we're going to leave.
Deep fried cranberries. What? Deep fried cranberries.
Okay, I didn't have those.
Yeah. They put like 3 cranberries on a stick in a fryer.
Love that.
And it tastes like, it's just like a
pastry.
A warm, a warm cranberry in
breading.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like a pie.
Yeah. Oh, cranberry pie. Okay, you sold me. I'm there. At first I was looking at you kind of skeptical, but now I'm there with you.
Yeah. It gets into like the same consistency as like fruit pie.
God, I love a good fruit pie. So. I'm going to make one.
I'm going to make one.
Okay, well, thank you, Cydel.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, we will see you all next time. We probably are going to, this is another update, I suppose, is that we still struggle to record.
Yeah.
And
your school year has started.
My school year has started. We did this summer every other week. Mm-hmm. We're going to go to once a month. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're going to shoot for. Because we want to keep recording, keep releasing episodes. Mm-hmm. We don't want to go on a 2-year hiatus again.
Whoopsie.
So we are going to keep trudging forward with
once a month. We'll see ya.
Yeah.
When we see ya.
Yes. See you when we see ya.
Yeah. See you next time for my Quick Trip fangirlies.
Yes.
I got gassed the other day.
Oh my goodness, have we been saying that this whole time? It seems so familiar.
Yeah. Every time you fuel
Quick Trip.
Right there. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Should I say my bye?
Yeah.
Okay, go again.
Bye. Oh.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to Cheese, a Healthy Fruit. Our cover art is by MJ Hennessey. Our theme song is by Melina Marchese. You can find her at melinamarchese.com. Follow the podcast on Instagram at cheese_a_healthy-fruit, Jade at Jade Powers with an extra S, and Cydel at Cydel Powers, spelled Cydel. If you have any questions or want to submit a story from your childhood, email us at cheeseahealthyfruit@gmail.com. Sources can be found in the show notes. You can find Cheese, a Healthy Fruit wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Subscribe to Cheese, a Healthy Fruit and leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting app. See you next time. Bye-bye.